Chapter 231, Mark's conditions to open the store at Lunaris City. The next day, before the breakfast, Mark met the king in private and had expressed his wish regarding the reward. He asked the king to give him an island that isn't in danger of drowning at the present, so that he may develop a manufacturing facility on top of it. He also added another condition that no natives are living on this island. At first, Mark was a little bit worried when he saw a change in the king's expression, but then he sighed in relief as the king gave him the word that he will acquire it right away. But it's just that only the prime minister has a clear idea about the demographics of the kingdom. Mark patiently waited until the morning assembly at 9 o'clock and was summoned to the court at 10 o'clock once the ministers were done reporting to the king about how their departments are faring now. Some boasted while some requested the king to change the policies. As soon as Mark was informed by the soldier, he went to the court in haste, and everyone abruptly turned their heads as he stepped inside. He walked forward and stopped a few meters away from the king, and greeted him with his fist at the chest before bowing slightly. "Your Majesty." King Shen Niu got up on his feet and the others followed the suit. He then spoke out loud. "Despite not belonging to this land, you have done an enormous service to the kingdom. As a reward, I wish to present to you the island of Nank, which is under the control of our kingdom for several centuries. From this moment onwards, it belongs to you." There was another thing. While I was discussing the current internal affairs with Prime Minister Zhu, I heard that Grand Prince Shen had invited Mr. Lu to Lunaris City in the hopes of letting him open the branch here, and let our citizens have experience with the unique type of weapon known as firearms, which itself has a lot of different types of weapons. Using the authority as the king, I give you the Xuanyi mansion for your stay and the Tower of Xuanyi for your business if ever decided to open the store. That is, whatever the terms are, you can discuss them with Prime Minister Zhu in private. As Mark thanked the king for the reward as well as for the offer, Zhu Jianhong didn't forget to inform him that the island is currently been inhabited by low-rank spirit beasts, which is of course not a big deal for a person like Mark anyway. After receiving the land deed of Nank Island, Mark returned to the guest room. He was planning on returning to the imperial city as Elena told him that Lin Zhu stopped by the store. According to the message, Song Yue's paternal great-grandfather had finally returned with Lin Zhu and is currently at Song Yun's new mansion to formally annul the engagement. He ordered Elena to make sure to stay inside the store, but he wasn't sure about Song Yue. If she gets tricked by the old man and gets out, then it is over for her. Even Elena is helpless against someone who is in the legendary realm if the rumor about Song Tai's strength is correct. Maybe she can take him on with the divine sword. Considering that she wasn't the owner, her stats will increase by 10%, making her as strong as a 7 circle. Combining her own skills and fighting techniques along with the divine sword skills, she doesn't have any attributes like humans, and so she could use them. Mark thought of the possibility of the female android going against the Song clan's ancestor. Even then, she couldn't last long against such a superior opponent. In that case, he would rather sacrifice Song Yue and protect Elena. But for some reason, he doesn't want to do that. Was she that worthy of facing such unnecessary troubles? Clearly, she isn't. He knows that too. Then why? Does he have feelings for her or something? No. Mark might appreciate her beauty, but he was clear in his mind that he won't fall in love with anyone to create weakness. Maybe it was because she is under his protection. Or maybe it is because he finds her pitiful. Or it might be because he likes living, eating dinner and talking with a human. Mark doesn't have a clear reason, but one thing he knows for sure. Not only he will be displeased if Song Yue was taken away in force, but will also slightly be disappointed if she leaves on her own. Then does that mean he wants her to stay with him forever? Mark doesn't want that too, so it is a bit complex as he has yet to make up his mind. While all of this is in one part of his mind, another part is worrying about the quest. Lunaris City is indeed far away from his home. He cannot go back and forth as he wishes. As he was already here, he might as well open the branch and temporarily appoint a manager to complete the quest before returning to the imperial city of Phoenix. But to do that, he needed to wait for the Prime Minister, who will only come and meet him once the morning court session is over. As a result, Mark could only wait in his room while staying in touch with Elena. In the meantime, he wrote something on a blank scroll. Roughly about 2 hours later, the court session was finally over, and a royal knight gave Mark's message to the Prime Minister. As Zhu Jianhong came to the guest room, Mark gestured for him to sit before handing him the scroll. "What is this?" he asked curiously. Mark replied, "I'm currently tight on time. Here's what the royal palace can provide me in exchange for opening the branch in this city. Go through it and negotiate on the terms with which you have a problem." Zhu Jianhong opened the scroll and read the conditions. Some of them were a little bit complicated. 1. The Western Moon Kingdom should formally acknowledge firearms as an official weapon and promote them to the public. As an example, the kingdom can form a firearms division, or even if it is not possible, it is all right. 2. The store should be at a prime location, and he will not pay the rent to the landlord. 3. The store should also have a residence for the manager and other employees to sleep in. 4. The royal palace should help him in hearing the employees, and all of their wages will be paid by the revenue department. 5. The standard wages of the employees must not be less than a civil servant. 6. The royal palace will help him in acquiring at least 100 barrels of oil per day through various merchants for a cheap price. Of course, it will be paid for by him. 7. Not only the oil but the royal palace will also help him in acquiring the common and rare materials including Damascus tungsten, Herculean steel, unpolished ether ores, etc. Naturally, he will bear the cost as long as the royal palace helps him by mediating with the merchants for a reasonable price. 8. The store will only sell advanced weapons in the city. That means common citizens with low income couldn't afford to buy them. P.S. In a case where all the conditions are met, the weapon seller will give priority to the Lunaris City branch and its buyers regarding ultra-powerful weapons. "What do you think?" Mark asked Zhu Jianhong as he read all the conditions and fell into thoughts. Chapter 232, Tower of Xuanyi. Okay, these are all the things that can be done, but the hearing process will take time. Zhu Jianhong readily agreed with the terms as he was ordered by the king to complete all the demands of the savior no matter how difficult they turned out to be. While Zhu Jianhong was grateful to Mark for bringing back the king, he was also the prime minister of the kingdom. Every decision he makes will bring a change to the citizens. That is why he must also think about the consequences before agreeing to something. Once he confirmed that Mark's demands were not only easy, but they also bring benefits to the kingdom, he didn't negotiate and just escorted him to the 2 locations, which were once the properties of the former Supreme General Xuanyi. After the rebellion was crushed, he was given a death sentence, and all of his personal properties were snatched by the royal palace while his family was exiled. Some of the properties were auctioned off to wealthy individuals, while the others were used by the kingdom for other purposes like one was used as a rental house, one for a storage center, detention facility, etc. The Tower of Xuan used to be a hospital run by the health ministry. The treatment was given free for the soldiers, elderly, and kids, but as time passed, the cost of employing the healers became a burden. To save money, Shenqiu shut it down about 3 years ago. Since then, it is an abandoned building. As for Xuanyi Mansion, it was currently used as a guest house for important guests from foreign lands like the envoys, ministers, or generals who come with several people. Individuals can be accommodated at the royal palace, but some people would want their servants and guards to stay with them. For guests like them, this mansion is perfect, well, at least until now. After taking a visit to the mansion, Mark visited the tower, which was located in the inner sector of Lunaris City. It was about 35 meters in height and has nothing but a huge door on the ground floor and windows until the top. There are no corridors or stairs visible from the outside. Looking at the vertical gap between the windows, Mark thought, 6 floors, huh? That's not bad. I can use the system followed by the everlasting weapon store I visited back then. Each level can represent a specific type of power of a weapon. They entered the tower, and just like an abandoned building, the dust and webs could be seen everywhere. As for the interior of the tower, there are no separate rooms. Every floor is a large room of about 150 SQ, m 1600 SQ, ft in area. It wasn't as big as it appeared from the outside, but the size is enough to display his weapons. Since he basically got it for free, he was satisfied with the arrangement. Zhu Jianhong then handed him 2 contracts with royal seals on them. Mark put the thumbprint on both of them. One was kept with Mark, and the other was taken by the Prime Minister. According to the contract, for the next 10 years, he holds the ownership rights to the Tower of Xuanyi and Mansion of Xuanyi, but he can only run the weapon store at the tower and will not earn money through the mansion by giving it for rent. Once 10 years are fulfilled, both of the properties will be his for permanent. Mark usually doesn't care for small things like those, and he wasn't in a situation to care either. After the contract signing is finished, Mark asked the system about the procedures to open the branch. The reply came very quickly. Ding, just say it to the system and let it confirm your ownership. Okay, I choose this place to expand the store and open a second branch. Ding, ownership was confirmed. Please appoint a manager. Alan Spencer. Ding, you appointed Alan as the manager of the Genesis Store's Lunaris City branch. Ding, you completed the quest successfully. Go to the quest to receive the reward. Mark opened the quest panel and clicked on Side Quest II. Ding, you unlocked Store Guardian. Ding, from now onwards, every time the host opened a branch, a Store Guardian will be appointed. Its rank will depend on the host's strength at the time of opening. Ding, you received a signboard and a mysterious package in the inventory. Ding, the host is confirmed to be at rank 5. Ding, a rank 8 robot is appointed as the Store Guardian of the Lunaris City branch. Please open the mysterious package in your inventory to receive the Store Guardian. Ding, you received a new side quest. Side Quest II. Expand the store to 10 different cities and sell at least 1,000 weapons through each branch, excluding ammunition. Reward, upgrade crystal superior. Superior, system, how is this different? Ding, superior grade upgrade crystal is made from the central part of the core of the Void Dragon King. Using it will yield 3 times the effect of the normal upgrade crystal. 3 times, eh? Mark immediately thought of Alan. At the moment, he needed 2 upgrade crystals to get an upgrade to the next rank. If this is used on the male android, his base stats will be at the same level or even higher than Elena. And once he uses another upgrade crystal, Alan could reach rank 7. As for why he wanted to upgrade Alan and not Elena, it's because of the divine sword. When equipped, he was already stronger than her. And once Alan gets to upgrade, he will not only be strong enough to take care of legendary realm experts, but could also slay a supreme realm expert or beast. Maybe he should do that before tamming his grandfather's pet. Anyway, he can think about that later. First, he will have to return quickly. Leaving the responsibility of cleaning the tower and hearing the staff to the Prime Minister, Mark summoned the attack helicopter right away and left for the Imperial City without bothering to personally inform the king or the princess. Later, Zhu Jianhong reported to the king about his departure due to an urgent situation back at home. Genesis Store, Imperial City, Phoenix Empire. On the first floor residence, the 2 ladies were busy chatting for the past few hours while Elena went to the kitchen to prepare for lunch while giving them privacy as Lin Zhu wanted. At first, the topic of their conversation was about Song Tai, but when Song Yue realized that everything will go back to normal, she relaxed a lot and continued to talk about others. Perhaps the only worry in her heart is that Mark hasn't returned yet. He was supposed to come on the same day by midnight, but it was the 3rd day, and he was still in the Western Moon Kingdom. Of course, It is not that she was worried about her fate in his absence or he will be ambushed by one of his enemies. It is something else, but she just doesn't know what it is. At around 12:40 in the afternoon, Elena finally exited the kitchen with the dishes and arranged the table. She served lunch to them while rejecting their request to join. After all, it is no use. If her master asks her, she might eat lunch to accompany, but Song Yue isn't her master. She wasn't obliged to entertain her. Her job is only to protect her until Mark returns. And for some reason, Song Yue's presence also irked Elena a little bit. She was still unable to comprehend the reason why she doesn't like their beauty to inquire about her master's whereabouts every once in a while. Chapter 233. Shen Ling wants to marry Mark. The Royal Palace, Lunaris City, Western Moon Kingdom. "You can't be serious, my daughter," spoke the king, as he was flabbergasted by Shen Ling's sudden decision about her marriage. "I didn't expect a smart woman like you to make such a decision in haste." After Mark left the city without informing them, Shen Ling talked with her father to fix her marriage with him while mending ties with the Phoenix Empire. It was indeed a piece of shocking thing for Shen Niu, who just reclaimed his throne 15 hours ago. He felt like his daughter's intelligence had fallen because of love. After all, Mark is young, handsome, and very strong. It's natural that a girl falls for him. But behind those obvious things, a lot of complicated issues were hidden. He wanted her to rethink carefully and take everything into consideration. As he knew that his daughter would be stubborn on her decision unless he made her realize it, he listed out the issues. "Look, I know that Lu Zhen is a powerful spirit warrior and I owe him my life, but marriage cannot be taken lightly. You know what happens if a female member of the royal family marries into a household of a commoner. You will lose all the privileges of a princess and become a commoner. Can you accept such a fate?" Adding on top of this, he had several enemies in Imperial City, and along with us, he offended the Church of Doom. If he hadn't killed that elder, the church would have only tried to take revenge on us. Once you were married into a powerful noble family of an empire, at the very least, you will not be harmed. However, if you marry that guy, along with his other enemies, the church will also hunt the two of you down. Knowing that, how can I accept your request? Okay, even if you are ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of love, what about your father? I only have you. If you marry a noble, I can pin my hopes on my grandson, but if you lose your status, the next in line is nephew Shen Zhai. Do you want me to hand over the throne to him? Do you want your father to die in unhappiness? And if Lu Zhen was truly powerful, or suddenly turn out to have a secret powerful background that can evade all these troubles, why would he marry you and form such a close relationship with a weak kingdom like ours? My daughter, if you have answers to these questions, please do enlighten this old father of yours. While the king used his entire knowledge to remove the possible blindfold from her daughter's eyes and drag her to reality, Shen Ling simply let out a smile. "Father, your daughter was a disciple of Supreme Realm Expert. My master might not lift a finger even if our kingdom is destroyed, but if I was killed, he won't sit around. Not to mention, I was given life-saving scrolls to protect myself from tough situations." A Supreme Realm. The king was taken aback by shock. This is the first time he was hearing it. Neither his daughter nor the prime minister mentioned it until now, so it will take a while before digesting such a fact. Meanwhile, Shen Ling nodded and continued. "Yes, the scroll I gave you earlier would actually summon a demon from the hell. Since my cultivation realm is low, I can only control a demon with a strength of 7 circle. On the other hand, you can summon an 8 circle one. Honestly, I plan to let you use it if Lu Zhen hadn't ambushed that legendary realm expert. But thankfully, everything went all right. Now, if Father can make a breakthrough, then we will get a 9-circle realm demon as a guardian. You don't need to fear the Church of Doom's retaliation at all. As for my status, if I can marry him and convince him to shift his home to this kingdom, as the king, you can give him the status of honorary nobility. I'll still be a member of the royal family. Our kids will become full nobles, having the right to inherit the throne. And if Lu Zhen stays here and sides with the royal family for eternity, you will have double protection. What will you have to fear? As for the possibility of a hidden background, if Lu Zhen's status is really greater than us, then I just need to make him fall in love with me. Well, I'm not sure whether I can accomplish such a difficult task, but giving up without even trying is cowardice. Anyway, we'll think about the process when the time comes. But before all that, at least Lu Zhen should know what my intentions are. As far as I know, people like him cannot be won over by clever schemes. Only by being honest and straightforward one can attain respect from him. At least, that's what I think. The king didn't speak for a while, not knowing what to say. Some time later, Songyun Guest House, Imperial City, Phoenix Empire. All the elders of the Song clan were completely silent as they started at the imposing Song Tai who passed the order. And then, a cherry red-faced Song Yun who couldn't agree on the decision. "Grandfather, you can't do this to me." Song Yun grew up in the presence of his grandfather and was close to him, so he could use such speech. He further said as he clenched his fist, "Because of that bastard Lu Zhen, I have lost all the respect and status in the kingdom. This is the only way for me to get back." Song Tai stared at him for a while in silence and said, "If you really suffer injustice, and if even Shang Fu is helpless in the matter, you would have come to me. That itself explains that you know that you are wrong. In this case, only an arrogant fool will choose the path of revenge. An intelligent person will put the pride aside and make peace with the enemy instead and turn them into friends." "There's no way I will ever make peace with that commoner," replied Song Yun with his heart filled in anger. But then, as he saw Song Tai frown in response, he quickly controlled himself and said, "Grandfather, please return my daughter. If she has a problem with the marriage, then I will convince her, okay?" However, Song Tai wasn't calmed down. If anything, his expression turned hard as he got up on his feet and spoke loudly. "Song Yue will return to this house, but the marriage will be on hold until I make the decision. And Song Yun, if you have any respect for your grandfather, then you'll not only accept my decision, but also will not put any force on her until she was ready for marriage and volunteers for it. If you reject my decision and do as you wish, I will also do what I want." After announcing his decision, Song Tai walked away from there without bothering to listen to anything from his grandson. Upon leaving the house, he started flying without the help of any flying sword or any other artifacts. His speed was also so fast that the guards stationed outside only managed to take a glimpse of his back, and he disappeared already. Chapter 234. Song Tai is at the store. Genesis Store, Imperial City. On the first-floor residence, as Song Yue and Lin Zhu were enjoying the delicacies prepared by Elena, the latter came downstairs and opened the shutter to resume the business. Since Song Yue no longer needed her company, Elena doesn't have any reason not to open the store as it is only hurting her beloved master's income. She walked to the board from the entrance and wiped off the words about out of stock and wrote that the store is open, although 9 bullets are out of stock. Elena understands Mark more than anyone else. She knew how much of a time-consuming task it is for her master to create hundreds and thousands of 9 bullets. If it is a month ago, then, it would be different, but now, considering the wealth of her master and the popularity of the store, they aren't in a desperate need to sell those low-level and cheap items. Taking it as an opportunity, the female android decided to promote the Axe series. But to her surprise, before she even got the opportunity to sell them to the common public, an old man had reached the spot and disrupted the business. One can say it is indeed a pure coincidence. At first, Elena thought that he was a customer and treated him like one. "Welcome to Genesis Weapon Store. What are you looking to buy?" But then his following reply made her realize the situation. "My name is Song Tai, and I'm here to take back my great-granddaughter, Song Yue." After scanning him, Elena realized that he wasn't someone she could fight head-on as her master warned her. But then again, inside the store, all of his strength is useless. So she dared to act boldly even in front of an esteemed spirit warrior like Song Tai. Making an uninterested face, Elena pointed her finger at the ceiling. "She's upstairs, but you cannot meet her until my master returns. Please come again 2 to 3 hours later if you aren't here as a customer. Thank you." Song Tai furrowed his brows as he inspected her through his senses. A puppet. His eyes then wandered around. A divine suppression and a top-grade puppet that can talk. This store is indeed as mysterious as Lin Zhu mentioned it to be. Upon realizing that Elena is not a human, he almost gave up on persuading her because the puppets and the beasts cannot be reasoned with. Their master's orders are absolute, but the problem here is that he cannot use his ether energy. As a master swordsman, he was also physically trained. He can use his fists or worse, he can depend on his semi-divine grade sword. Even after he takes everything into consideration, he still doesn't have any idea how strong Elena is. It would be a foolish idea to use force when there's an unclear outcome. Maybe should he grab her by surprise and throw her out of the store and then defeat her outside where his powers aren't restricted. Such a thought also crossed his mind. However, considering that Elena looked a bit special when compared to other puppets he had witnessed in his life, he wondered about giving it a try. After thinking briefly, Song Tai said to Elena, "Then, I would like to talk with her. I don't have the strength to take away her in your presence. If she wants to come with me, then everything can be solved right away." I would very much want to kick her out, I mean. I wished for this problem to be solved too, but my master strictly told me to not let anyone except for Lin Zhu to meet her, and I'm permitted to go all out to stop the person. So, I will once again ask you to either wait or return after 2 hours. Elena tried to deal with Song Tai as patiently as possible, but even she has limits. She decided to kick him by force if he continues to irritate her by talking about Song Yue once again. Thankfully, Song Tai didn't do it. He simply nodded, "I understand. I will wait, but I can meet Lin Zhu, right? Go and tell her that Song Tai is here." If it is someone else who had a powerful cultivation base, they would have already attacked to protect their pride, but Song Tai only acts against evil, which is harmful to the society. And here he doesn't see any bad thing. The only thing that he needed to confirm is whether Song Yue was taking shelter here or was the owner keeping her as a hostage. If he cannot meet his great-granddaughter, then that's all right. But there's no restriction on Lin Zhu. On top of that, he could also let Song Yue know that he is here. He cannot use force, but she can come to him on her own right. If Mark was here, he might be able to guess his thoughts, but Elena is, after all, a puppet in Song Tai's eyes. She can be straightforward, make logical decisions, or simply follow her master's orders. She cannot scheme around. As a result, she went upstairs and informed Lin Zhu about Song Tai's arrival. And just like the latter expected, both of the ladies rose to their feet and proceeded to go downstairs. But this is where Song Tai had underestimated Elena's resolution and Song Yue's trust in Mark. Following her master's orders to stop her from meeting Song Tai, she informed whatever Mark had told her. She left the decision to her. Elena came downstairs. Lin Zhu came downstairs, but Song Yue didn't. She stayed behind as she didn't treat this place as some sort of inn where she can check in and check out at any time she wanted to. Song Yue felt indebted to Mark, and that's why she respected his wishes and didn't meet her great-grandfather. At the very least, she can do that. Upon reaching downstairs and meeting the ancestor of the Song clan, Lin Zhu said, "Grandpa Song, I apologize, but she says that she will wait for owner Lu. It was her decision." One could see a trace of worry on her face regarding possible consequences. Song Tai was naturally surprised. Normally, he would have left, but since he was bound by an oath, he took a seat nearby. "I will wait." Elena narrowed her eyes and stared at him. Song Tai looked back at her. "What?" Elena said, "This is a weapon store, Mr. Song. We only sell weapons here. If you aren't either a guest of my master or a customer of the store, then you cannot stay here. It will disrupt our business." Lin Zhu furrowed her brows, feeling that this busty woman is insulting an esteemed person like Song Tai, who can even dictate terms to the emperor. "Ms. Elena, you cannot talk that way to Grandpa Song." It is one thing if Mark talks that way, but despite being strong, Elena is a servant right. More than Elena's behavior, Lin Zhu was more worried about how the old would react. Lin Zhu didn't know that Elena isn't human, but Song Tai does, So he didn't take her words to the heart and showed his magnanimity. "It's all right. Since I have to wait anyway, I will spend the time wisely. Show me all the weapons your store has to offer." Chapter 235. Mark meets Song Tai. For the next couple of hours, Lin Zhu had assisted Elena to give company to the ancestor of the Song clan as he tried different weapons in the training ground. As Elena can't leave the store because of Mark's orders, she denied giving any demonstrations. And when Lin Zhu complained that Song Tai is now a customer, Elena simply referred to the rules board, which says the right to deny demonstrations lies with the store employees. As a result, Song Tai, who had remembered all the instructions given by Elena, tested the weapons and explosives one after another. Of course, this self-demonstration brought 751 gold coins of revenue to the store courtesy of all the ammunition and explosives that he wasted. Once he was done, Lin Zhu returned the weapons that they borrowed, and then he finally placed the order. 1 Est, KFZ. 101 Panzer, 1000 of 7, 9 mmx 57 mm ammunition, 1 Panzerfaust 3 IT 600 rocket launcher, and 100 warheads, 110 That would be a total of 3,000 gold coins. Do you wish to purchase in your name or Lady Song's name since you told me that you are buying for her? Elena went into a receptionist mode, suddenly treating him very respectfully, unlike an hour ago. The sudden change in her behavior clearly indicates that Genesis Weapon Store doesn't care about the cultivation level of the customers, but is more about how much they are buying. Song Tai, who knew that she is a puppet, thought that she was designed that way and then asked, "Is there any point who buys it?" Elena pointed her finger at the rules board, where it was mentioned about the exclusive weapons for the special customers. Since he has no usage for weapons, he said, "Buy in Song Yue's name." Considering Song Yue is already a level 2 VIP customer, 3,000 gold coins of a transaction wouldn't help her much, but then again, something is better than nothing. After that, he waited for another half an hour while being served an oolong tea. Lin Zhu felt that Elena is just the same as her greedy master. But then again, it isn't her place to teach how others should act in their own residence. She too calmly waited until Song Tai suddenly rose to his feet and spoke as he looked at the entrance. "What was that sound?" "My master is here," replied Elena as she left the reception and stood at the entrance. Very soon, the helicopter landed inside the training ground, and 2 men got down from it. Mark was already informed about the arrival of Song Tai, so he wasn't surprised to see the old man waiting for him. However, he still felt the need to verify his identity. After all, he just went through a quest to replace a fake king with a real one. Song Tai. Race human. Age 118. Rank 9 circle low. Spirit path swordsman. Attribute wind. Affiliation Phoenix Empire. Description: ancestor of Song clan and a former head of the Song clan. Oh, a supreme ream expert, huh? Mark had suspicions of Song Tai being in the 9th circle as both Lin Zhu and Song Yue confidently told him that he was at least in the legendary realm, decades ago. So, it is not surprising at all. If Mark had met this old expert before his trip to Western Moon, he would have been a little cautious, but killing that elder who belonged to the Church of Doom increased his confidence. As he entered the store, Lin Zhu whispered to Song Tai, "The one on the left is Lu Zhen." Song Tai already figured that out the moment he sensed life in Mark but nothing in Alan. He nodded as he rose to the feet and commented, "For a person who is rumored to own an 8-circle beast king, you indeed take your time to reach here, owner Lu." While his face was completely calm, indicating that it was either a pure comment without any malice or he was hiding his true emotions, Mark felt like he was being mocked. He didn't know why Song Tai said that, but he wasn't the type to back down from an argument. He countered right away, "And you are indeed patient for being a Supreme Realm expert. Last time I heard, Supreme Realm experts are so impatient and arrogant that they will force the Emperor to kneel because of some bastard noble's mistake." Mark was referring to the incident that occurred a while ago, where Shang Fu was forced to kneel, to prevent the destruction of the empire. Mark's words indeed take Lin Zhu by surprise, for she never thought that Song Tai is in Nine Circle. She couldn't help but took a glance at the harmless-looking old man. Meanwhile, Song Tai realized that something is blocking him to sense Mark's cultivation realm. Is it the store, or is it something else? Putting away his thoughts, he let out a smile. Fair enough. Anyway, let's get down to business. Okay, no problem. Mark looked at the smiling female android. Elena, bring down Lady Song. All right, she saluted him while continuing to keep a smile on her face because of happiness. I will bring her right away. She rushed upstairs and came back with Song Yue. Meanwhile, a pleasant smile appeared on Mark's face as he felt like Song Yue's face was just glowing with happiness. Is it because her great-grandfather is here to pick her up, or is it because Mark returned? He wondered at first but quickly threw away those thoughts and greeted her. You are finally home. Song Yue let out a sigh of relief. You didn't return for 3 days. I was worried that something might have happened. Well, I went for lunch, but the situation became complicated with replacing the king and opening the branch, replied Mark, before realizing that Song Yue has no idea based on the bewilderment on her face. Wait a second, didn't Elena tell you what was I doing there? I have no idea what you are up to. Song Yue shook her head, making Mark turn his head to look at the female android, who flinched for a moment and said, Big Brother never ordered me to inform Lady Song. Shaking his head with a sigh, Mark looked at Song Yue once again. It's a long story. I'll tell you later, but before that, let us solve the current issue. After saying that, he turned around and looked at the old man who was keenly observing the both of them. Mr. Song, you can finally tell us how you plan on helping your great-granddaughter. It is great-grandpa Song Tai. It was then Song Yue finally realized that her ancestor is here. She never met him before, so she didn't know that her great-grandfather is still waiting for the past couple of hours. She hurriedly greeted him, and then apologized for letting him wait. Song Tai then spoke. I'm here to take you home, Zio Yue. I fulfilled my promise with Lin Zhu. Your marriage with Jai Minjiu is currently put on hold. If you are not willing to marry him, then it will be done according to your wishes. However, Chapter 236, Song Yue's Decision. His expression hardened as he continued, running away from home and staying at an unmarried man's home. Do you know how it will affect our clan if the word is out? If not for your father spreading a rumor that you were abducted, the consequences would have been dire. I can assure you that from here on, no one would dare to force you into a marriage against your wishes, but you have to apologize to your father. Song Yue doesn't know what to tell him. She knew that she did the right thing, but at the same time, she can't refute his words too. As a look of hesitation appeared on her face, Mark interrupted their conversation. Smoke generates because of the fire, Mr. Song. You cannot blame the smoke that suffocated the people who inhaled it when the real fault lies with the fire. Song Tai took a glance at him. Mark continued. The Song clan was already fallen the moment Song Yun had decided to sacrifice his daughter for his personal ambition. Song Yue's staying here is the result of that sin committed by her father, who even locked her up like a prisoner. What consequences are you talking about? If she has done nothing wrong, why should she apologize? Song Tai furrowed his brows in displeasure. Owner Lu, I'm thankful that you looked after my great-granddaughter, but this is our family matter. Don't interfere. Lady Song is the guest of Genesis store at the moment, replied Mark in a serious tone as he crossed his arms to the chest. Only she has the right to stop me from interfering, not you or your clan. Right then, tell me one thing. Song Tai didn't back down from the argument. I will put aside the clan for a moment. What about Song Yue? She didn't do any wrong, correct? Then, who will be responsible if her character gets defamed after the commoners and fellow nobles learn that she spent 3 days with an unmarried young man and slept in his house? Even if you want to protect her, you should have let her stay in an inn. You can wash off your hands from this matter and continue to live happily, but what about Song Yue? She'll have to live with the allegations for the rest of her life, right? Can you convince the whole society using strength or your weapons? Answer me. Song Tai thought that he can corner Mark using such facts, but the latter was already aware of all the issues before he made the decision. Looking straight into the eyes of the Supreme Realm expert, he answered, "I will do nothing, Mr. Song. Just like how I was responsible for my life, Lady Song is responsible for her own life. All I can do is support her through my ways. If society defames her, it is her responsibility to fight the battle to clear her name. And in the process, I will stand by her side against society. If she thinks that my weapons will give her justice, then I will gladly provide them too." From Mark's reply, Song Tai realized that the weapon seller had clarity on his decision. But to what length he was willing to go for Song Yue is something that needed to think about. The old man then said, "What if siding with her will make you the enemy of a Supreme Realm spirit warrior along with half a dozen noble clans? If you encourage her, this might become a reality." Mark's face turned serious when he heard that. He felt like the old man is threatening him. As a result, he only got more stubborn about his decision. "Mr. Song, you know nothing about me. I would rather burn the entire world or die in the process than betray my conscience." Mark thought that he had given a befitting reply, but Song Tai took advantage of it and asked while taking a glance at Song Yue, "Does that mean you will destroy Song Clan too?" It was at that moment Mark realized that he fucked up. He didn't expect this powerful expert will trap him using his own words. In Mark's eyes, most of the nobles with high authority or great power are quite one-dimensional people. If someone of lower stature or lower strength doesn't agree with their decision, then they will try to destroy them. So when Song Tai implied that Mark will make an enemy out of him, he thought that the old man would probably use force to take her away. But never in the world did he expect that Song Tai would use his brain in this heated argument. For a moment, he felt like a fool. As Mark stayed silent, refusing to admit either yes or no, Song Tai turned towards his great-granddaughter. "Zio Yue, now you must have understood the consequences. If you don't come with me and apologize to your father, he will surely escalate the situation. You know him. Not only your character will be defamed, but because of you, either your benefactor will die or your whole family will be massacred. If everything can be solved by a simple apology, why take the path of destruction?" Just as Mark feared, this last piece of conversation impacted Song Yue a lot. She wanted the marriage to be stopped, and that had happened. Why prolong the matter over unnecessary pride? Not to mention, she was apologizing to her own father, not to some stranger either. Making the decision, she slowly opened her mouth. "Great-grandpa, I will return with you and apologize to father. But I also need your help in convincing my father to put a stop to his enmity with Lu Zhen. Can you do this favor? I beg you." She then bowed to Song Tai, taking him by surprise. One is begging him to show mercy on the other, while the latter is willing to fight the world for the former. All of a sudden, he felt like their relationship isn't normal. Are they really mere acquaintances like Lin Zhu mentioned? Song Tai had a reason to doubt it, but at the moment, it isn't important. He threw away the thought to the back of his head and replied with a smile, "I'm your great-grandfather. You don't need to beg me to do a favor as little as this. Consider it done. Happy." "Thank you." Song Yue bowed to him once again and then looked at Mark. "I'm sorry to drag you into my matters. I'm also sorry for not being able to live up to your expectations. But I won't be able to forgive myself if something happens to you or my family." Mark didn't know what else to say. Song Yue willingly took the decision, and he doesn't have any right to stop her. But a strange disturbance occurred in his chest as she left with the both of them. For several minutes, he just stood at the entrance, clenching his fist in frustration as Lin Zhu's carriage disappeared from the sight. "Well, she went back to her world, and it's time that I proceed on my way." Mark let out a sigh and closed down the store before going back upstairs to eat his lunch. Chapter 237, Mark's Weapon Designs. As he went to the dining room and Elena served him the food, he couldn't help but sigh once again, feeling loneliness without Song Yue. Elena, who felt like her master is sad, accompanied him and tried to engage him in a conversation regarding the things that happened in the Lunaris city. Mark felt a lot better after sharing the things with her. The fact that Elena never going to betray eased him a lot as he revealed important secrets like the contents of the quests or his future plans, etc. After a while, as Elena went to the kitchen to clean up all the dishes, Mark went back to his room and sat up on the bed. System open quest list. Selling 10,000 firearms has a long way to go. Breaking through to rank 6 was put aside for a while. That leaves designing 10 types of weapons. I have 5 designs ready with me already. After all, Chimera SMG is a modified version of Tigan 3, so I just need to design Tigan 3 too. That means I would need another 5. As for side quests, earning 1 million gold coins from here on will take a while. Opening 10 branches can be done, but selling at least 1,000 weapons at every branch will take time. The last quest has 500k credits to be spent to acquire the Amulet of Diu and form a contract with demons. I have spent more than 125k credits, but to spend other 375k credits means spending 1.75 million gold coins. Maybe I should venture into the Blood Hill Forest and kill some 7-circle beasts or a beast king to earn that amount. It is best if I can awaken the second spirit path and get a teleportation skill. The other quests will become easier. As for those 2 emergency quests, I still have to wait for the peak potion. Hopefully, I acquire it during the next draw. Anyway, let's do things one after another. He then spread a sheet of paper and started to draw new designs. I need to add a few weapons to the Tigan series. Let's see what type of ammo is available for me at the moment. 9 RIP 9 7.9 12-gauge shotgun ammo, 0.5 BMG 12 7 mmx 99 mm, 0.5 caliber 12 7 mmx 108 mm, 0.204 caliber 40 grenade, 110 heat warhead, 7.62 155 heat, 6 5 mmx 48 mm, 0.45 caliber, 0.243 caliber 6x52, 5.56x45. Looking at the list, Mark first thought of a sniper rifle with a longer range than the ones in his arsenal. In his past life, he designed a couple of sniper rifles with more than 3 km range for the mafia gang that kidnapped him, but they never went into mass production due to high costs and no buyers for the gang. Mark picked up one of them and decided to add it as Tigan 6. If everything goes as he wants, this sniper rifle that shoots a 0.5 BMG will be able to reach 5.3 kilometers. However, its effective range will be more important though. As long as it ends above 3 kilometers range, he will be satisfied. Mark's 7th design was Tigan 2's modification. Tigan 2 is a revolver that shoots shotgun shells. He changed the size of the cylinder, replacing the shotgun shells with 40 grenades. He named it Tigan 2A. Mark's 8th design was Tigan 1's modification. Tigan 1 is a machine pistol that works similar to that of a submachine gun with a front magazine. But this design will have 3 barrels of equal length, using the principle of a Gatling-style gun for a high RPM. Hence, he named it Tigan 1A. The 9th design is a short-range rocket launcher. It is named Tigan 7. The weapon's design is a simple, smooth-bore aluminum tube layered with fiberglass on the outside. The most difficult part of creating this weapon is the solid propellant motor that powers up the rocket. Since he was alone, it will be a time-consuming task. Because he cannot stay more than 30 minutes in the factory, he has to build the motor in the outside world and brings it to his factory, letting the assistant robot finish the rest. As for the final design, Mark decided to make it big. Tigan 8 will be a howitzer built-in artillery style, as it is simpler compared to a vehicle type. He can then install a couple of these on his destroyers to increase their firepower. Okay, designs are ready, but I'm still in need of materials. Just that Chimera SGM had consumed a lot of materials from the ones provided by the system as a part of the beginner package. I need to wait for the news from Zheng Ha. Until then, this will be on hold. Mark stored the sheets of paper in his inventory and went back to his bed. A mentally tired Mark fell asleep quickly and woke up at around 6 o'clock in the evening. He opened the business as usual. With no customer visiting the store, he continued to work on his creation of those time-consuming 9 bullets one by one. At around 7:35 in the evening, a couple entered the store buying a single-shot pistol and 10 bullets. As they left, Mark remembered Song Yue once again, specifically their first meeting. He missed her presence more than ever. I wonder whether Song Yun had forgiven her. Well, she was his only daughter, so he must welcome her, or else he will only regret it later on. Another half an hour passed with no customers. Mark decided to close down the store. After having dinner, he went back to his room. Not getting any sleep, he became focused on creating 9 bullets non-stop. Time passed away. Midnight arrived. Ding, you created a 9 bullet. After continuously clicking 2,500 times, even his arms started to pain, and he became tired physically this time. Mark lies down on the bed and closes his eyes, trying to sleep. As if the whole world decided to not let him sleep, the notification bell sound made him open his eyes. And when he saw the screen, his eyes widened in shock. Ding, you received an emergency quest. Save Song Yue. Song Yue. He immediately sat on the bed and opened the quest. Quest: save Song Yue. Description: the elders of the Song clan are not happy with Song Yue's return. They plan to kill her and make it appear like a suicide. Save her and take her under your protection. Reward: Song Yue affinity level +3. Except killing her. Mark's gaze turned cold as soon as he read the description. Neither was he wondering why the system wants to protect her when she could no longer purchase without losing the backing of her family, nor does he care about what exclusive weapons will be unlocked this time. There's only one thing that is in his mind. It is to save her. He clicked on accept right away. Ding, do you wish to be teleported to the quest location right away? Yes. Ding, you can only bring either Alina or Alan with you. Choose the android. Usually, he would get the opportunity to bring them both, but Mark doesn't have the time to question the system. Alan, he said. Ding, you will be teleported to the location in 3, 2, 1. Chapter 238. Mark and Song Yue to get engaged. Mark and Alan disappeared at the same time and found themselves on the edge of a tall cliff. On the bottom, there was a forest, but the estimated distance to the edge of the cliff is like a few hundred meters. Mark couldn't help but move forward in reflex as he wouldn't survive the fall because of his low physical strength. Far away, the imperial city with lights in the streets could be seen from the cliff. As the time is midnight, the surroundings were quite dark around. However, the moonlight in the clear sky gave him enough visibility, and the fact that his targets were right before his eyes made the current time irrelevant. There are 3 guys in front of him with Song Yue's arms locked by 2 buffed guys, while the other one was leading them. Song Yue's eyes looked dead at the moment, as if she gave up on resisting. But just then, the elder who was leading them stopped in his tracks and let out a shriek in great surprise. You, what are you doing here? Mark walked forward with a cold look on his face. Alan followed him from behind. I knew that nobles cannot be trusted after all. He snarled at them as he raised his hand. You guys don't deserve to live. Lightning clone. An energy clone with lightning sparks dancing all over its body was summoned before Mark. Kill them. Only then did Song Yue finally see the guy with a familiar voice. Her eyes widened in shock. Lu Zhen. The elder of the Song clan quickly took out the sheath from his storage ring, but he was too late. Before he even pulled out the sword from its sheath, the lightning clone already reached him and pierced his chest with its bare hand. It pulled out his heart by force and crushed it before eyeing the other prey. The guards immediately released Song Yue in fear and started running back. But can 5 circle spirit warriors like them outrun lightning clone's speed, which is equal to a 7 circle spirit warrior? The result is obvious. With consecutive punches to the back of their heads, both of their skulls were crushed in an instant. The enemies are dead and Song Yue is saved, but the notification about quest completion hasn't appeared. However, Mark's thoughts weren't on that. His entire attention was on Song Yue. He slowly walked up to her, who collapsed on the ground upon being released. As he reached her, she raised her head. Tears filled her eyes as she asked, "How?" How could Mark reveal his system and the quest? He thought of a quick excuse and replied as he gave her his hand, "I was worried that this might happen. That's why I asked Elena to leave a mark on you." "Thank you." She didn't take his hand, though. Looking at the ground, she further said, "Maybe it would have been better if you never come on time. I would have been spared from this sadness." Mark kneeled to her height and asked slowly, "What happened?" "I thought everything was solved after my father accepted my apology. I knew that my father will be angry, but he—" Song Yue's voice quivered as the memories of the past hour appeared in her head. "He turned a blind eye when I was dragged by the guards and Elder Hun. My mother tried to stop him but was locked up. They wanted to kill me." Mark's blood boiled in anger. Upon remembering his own birth mother that sacrificed him for selfish gains, he couldn't help but grit his teeth. "That trash! I will not spare him alive." "No," Song Yue grabbed his arms while crying, "Please, I beg you. He is still my father. If he wants to kill me, that means I disappointed him very much. Just take my life and forgive him." Being overwhelmed by emotions, Song Yue doesn't even know what she is spouting, but Mark's pity for her surpassed his hatred for her father. Calming down himself, he slowly said, "Let's go back to my house." "No, it will only aggravate my father. I don't want anything to happen to either of you because of me. Just leave me alone here. My death will solve everything." As Song Yue continued to weep, Mark grabbed her face and raised it to his eye level. A trace of surprise appeared on her face. "Look, Song Yue, if I don't know this situation, it would have been fine, but now that I am aware, I'm not abandoning you. As for your father, don't worry, I will not kill him." "Okay?" said Mark from the bottom of his heart. Usually, he doesn't hesitate to lie or show fake expressions to fool the other party, but this time, he was genuine. Song Yue was touched by his words, but a question lingered in her heart. She couldn't help but ask, "Why do you have to go to such lengths for me? We are barely acquaintances." In response, Mark let out a smile. "It's because you are different from the people who see me either as a commoner or a Cerberus slayer. You see people for what they are. You are kind enough to show mercy to your enemies. Someone like you is worth saving. Come with me, Song Yue." But what will people think? She was worried that Mark's reputation will also be damaged because of this decision. "Well, Elena and Alan are living with me. I consider them as my siblings, but in reality, they have no biological relation with me." Mark shrugged his shoulders. This time, he was attempting to fool her with a lie. "One more person will not change anything." "I know that they aren't human." Song Yue revealed a shocking piece of information, taking Mark by surprise. "How do you know?" Song Yue answered, "Great-grandpa told me that they are top-grade puppets. Judging by your expression, I guess he is right." Mark didn't expect that one of his biggest secrets is out. It made him wonder whether the Supreme Realm experts are vastly different from others, or if it is just Song Tai. Anyway, whatever is done is done. Now he should focus on justifying himself. He thought for a bit and said, "Well, as long as the people don't know about it, we'll be fine. But the truth will come out sooner or later, and at that time, your reputation will damage more than ever." Song Yue replied in a worried tone. She was never thinking of herself from the start. Not knowing what else to say to convince her, Mark let out a deep sigh. "In that case, there's only one choice left. We have to get engaged to protect your dignity. No one would dare speak ill of you then." This time it was Song Yue's turn to be taken aback. You want to marry me?" The heiress of the Song clan might be kind but not naive. Although Mark held a special place in her heart because he saved her 3 times, she is still a human who can have negative thoughts because of misunderstandings. As a result, she felt like Mark was probably helping because he wants to court her. If that's really the case, then her respect for him will be fallen. Thankfully, Mark acted quickly and cleared the misunderstanding with a firm explanation. "No, unless I achieve my goal, neither love nor marriage has any place in my heart as well as my thoughts." Song Yue was once again surprised, but at the same time, slightly disappointed for a reason she doesn't know. Chapter 239. Unlocking New Exclusive Weapons, Panzer IV and LARS. Mark continued, Unlike marriage, engagement doesn't have any vows to be fulfilled and can be annulled at any time prior to marriage. So, this solution I'm providing is an engagement with benefits where we will only act like a couple in the outside world. But when we were at home, just like before, you will stay in your room and I will stay in mine. Neither of us will take advantage of the fact that we will be half married at any given point in time. So, it will be like you are a tenant who will be living in my house, except that you don't need to pay me any rent. And of course, I don't want you to think that you are a burden on me. That's why I want you to work with me, taking up the position of the store's manager. Chang Bo is only an employee, but I'm still paying him 120 gold coins per month. As the post of a manager is the highest position in the store, I will pay you higher. But I will also keep in mind that you are the heiress of a major noble clan. That's why I don't offer a fixed salary and undermine you. So, let's work on profit sharing. Not many people know that for every weapon I sell, I get to keep 20% of the income as my share, and the remaining goes to my manufacturer. Of that, 10% is your share. That means 2% of the overall revenue generated by every weapon that we manage to sell to the customers at the store you are in charge of. Just so you know that my store had hundreds of thousands of gold coins worth transactions until now, and it will only increase in the future. So, that 2% isn't by means any small amount, well, at least for me. This is the only solution that I can provide to solve all the problems that you are worried about. If you have any other way, please don't hesitate to voice it out. We have enough time. Mark actually didn't prepare this proposal beforehand and just spoke whatever came to his mind. It was only after he finished the explanation that he wondered whether he offered a bit too much money to her. If he can really get 100k gold coins worth of order, he will have to give her 2,000 gold coins as a share when she wasn't investing a dime in the store. Should he have offered 1% instead? Anyway, the words were already out and he cannot take back his promise. Meanwhile, Song Yue went into a daze for a while. She really felt like Mark is a good man and she has nothing but admiration for him. Eventually, her eyes were filled with tears once again as she bowed. "Thank you." Soon, the attack helicopter was seen flying back to the Imperial City. Previously, Mark was careful enough not to let anyone know what Song Yue was with him, but now, he no longer bothered to hide her. In fact, before getting back home, he told Alan to go to Song Yun's guest house, where he was currently waiting for the elder to return and give him the news of his daughter's death. But to his surprise, instead of the elder, a familiar-looking helicopter landed on the ground. Because it is midnight, the sound of the helicopter is naturally loud enough to draw the attention of everyone, including the neighbors. Song Yun came out of his residence with a serious expression on his face. All the guards were on high alert, wondering whether the demolition will repeat once again. Thankfully for them, Mark didn't have such intentions. He let Song Yue sit inside while he got down from the aerial vehicle. Alan also got down, but he only stood before the door to guard Song Yue, and also lend a hand to his master if he gets in trouble. Mark looked around for a couple of seconds before spotting Song Yun. He immediately opened the familiar's inventory and summoned Baltro, the beast king of the 8-circle realm. Song Yun and the guards who were above the 5-circle instantly noticed how strong it is. Their legs couldn't help but shiver, feeling as if their death was decided by this walking time bomb. On the other hand, Song Yun rooted in the spot without showing any fear. Mark then stopped a few meters away from him and opened the inventory, throwing out 3 dead bodies on the ground. In an instant, Song Yun realized what happened without even Mark giving any explanation. As Song Yun stared at the bodies in silence, Mark then opened his mouth. "Today, you attempted to commit a crime that is a black mark on every parent. I wanted to eradicate the Song clan from its roots, but your daughter is still kind enough to not only forgive you, but even requested me to not punish you. Anyway, I'm here to inform you that Song Yue and I decided to get engaged. It was mutual consent from both of us, and also she will be staying with me from now onwards. It goes without saying that she will be under my protection. In a couple of days, I will surely send you a formal invitation. If you are interested, Come as the parent of Song Yue and be sure to bring your wife. After all, she will be my future mother-in-law. The patriarch of Song clan or its elders isn't welcome. I was willing to forget the enmity with the Song clan for her sake, but if you want to continue the enmity, I will welcome that too, although your clan members might not be able to face the consequences. The rest depends on your choice. After saying what he came for, Mark turned around to walk away. Song Yun flashed angrily, but because of the Beast King, he barely managed to control himself in launching an attack. His original plan was to make everyone believe that his daughter was abducted and postpone the marriage. But the emperor had found out that he was lying. So, he admitted that she ran away and pleaded mercy to escape the wrath of Shang Fu, because lying to the emperor is one of the greatest crimes. The relationship between Bai Zun and Song Yun had saved him from Shang Fu, and he was forgiven. While he was suffering from that embarrassing moment, his grandfather made a visit to the clan and put a hold on the marriage before canceling it indefinitely once Song Yue returned home. And once Song Yun learned that Song Yue was with his enemy of all the people, he snapped. Overwhelmed by hatred, Song Yun decided to use his daughter's death to frame Mark with an accusation of defiling her, which led to her suicide. Considering how Song Yue stayed at the Genesis store for a week, he was confident that Mark couldn't escape from capital punishment. Now all of his plans were crushed by Mark, and he found himself cornered by all the sides. The only option left for him is to compromise. Contrary to his thoughts, the guards were actually happier that their heiress is going to marry the Cerberus Slayer. Most of them were also unaware of what happened, but judging by Mark's words and the three corpses, most of them speculated that Song Yun might have tried to send away his daughter to Western Yan at midnight and forcefully marry her to Jai Minjiu in secret. Their speculation might be far away from the truth, but it can't change the present anyway. And now, they were hopping for the clan head to be replaced by someone else so that Mark can stand on their side. Meanwhile, the helicopter landed at the training ground, and the three of them walked toward the store. Once Song Yue stepped inside, Mark finally got the notification about the quest completion along with the rewards. Ding, you completed the quest. Song Yue's affinity with the store is increased by 3 levels. Ding, Song Yue's affinity with the store reached level 5. Ding, you unlocked a level 4 exclusive weapon medium tank, SD, KFZ. 161 Panzerkampfwagen IV. Ding, 75 caliber ammo has been unlocked. Ding, you unlocked a level 5 exclusive weapon, light artillery rocket system, LARS. Ding, 110 rocket has been unlocked. Panzer IV and LARS. Now this is good stuff. Mark was very much satisfied with the rewards. Mark felt like on cloud 9, but he controlled his excitement and proceeded to walk toward the staircase. Meanwhile, Elena teleported downstairs as soon as she sensed her master's presence, only to lose her smile in an instant she saw Song Yue. Chapter 240. Are you ready, Manager Song? Oh, hey Elena, Lady Song will resume her stay here, said Mark as soon as he spotted the female android. What's going on? She was taken aback by surprise. She was thinking that everything will go the same way as before once Song Yue leaves, but this girl returned. While the android cannot access Mark's memories without his permission, she can connect with the system. Unless it is necessary, she wouldn't do that. It is why she just waited for Mark's return without inquiring why he and Alan left for a quest without taking her. Now that she became curious about the matter, she accessed the system's quest log and found the details. From there, everything is easy to understand, although there's still something that bugged her mind. She didn't ask any questions and quietly escorted the two of them upstairs. Elena get back to the bedroom she was familiar with, and so was Mark. But Elena charged into the room before he locked it, taking him by surprise. What happened? He asked. Why is she here, big brother? Elena responded with a question. This was the first time Mark found an expression of displeasure on Elena's face regarding someone else who wasn't his enemy. Are you uncomfortable with her or something? Yeah, Elena nodded without keeping it in her heart. I'm not sure why though. Mark suddenly remembered the system that gave him the quest to save Song Yue 2 times. Even if she becomes a level 5 exclusive customer, her present financial situation will not be helping to earn money by selling exclusive weapons to her. He might be using several unlocked weapons for his personal use, but the system's intention of giving him such rewards is so that he could sell them to the public. Though Song Yue was the first customer of his store, though she was also the one who is indirectly responsible for the store's popularity at the beginning, her overall transactions of her were even less than 500 gold coins. So why did the system think that he will gain something from Song Yue? He could understand saving the king as it gave him the destroyer, but he can't understand why the system placed such importance on Song Yue. It might something or it might be nothing, but Elena's statement made him believe that there might be a mystery to all of this. Elena didn't know that her simple words without proper explanation only made Mark more curious about Song Yue. Previously, she was an object of pity. Now, Song Yue suddenly became an object of interest. Anyway, thinking wouldn't solve anything, and he knew that the system wouldn't give him the answer. He decided to observe carefully for the next few weeks and see if his suspicions were right or not. Big brother. As Elena brought him to reality, Mark told her what happened earlier without bothering to hide anything. Elena knows what marriage is, but she doesn't understand the concept of being engaged. When asked him, Mark gave a detailed explanation to her. After a brief silence, she asked a simple question, why her? Mark just went through the same thoughts, and he could only let out a sigh. That's what I would like to know too. He then cleared his throat and further said, anyway, you don't need to give the same treatment from tomorrow. She's no longer a guest. But then again, she is the manager of the store, so give her the respect she deserves, that's all. Elena saluted and left his room. Upon returning to the living room, she took a seat on a couch and started wondering. So, it's because of some mysterious power inside her making me uncomfortable, not because of her interactions with Big Brother. Meanwhile, inside one of the guest rooms, which formally became Song Yue's room from tonight, the lady lies down on the bed to sleep, but the events that occurred earlier kept her awake. She started weeping once again. Mama, Baba, sorry for not living up to your expectations. On the other hand, Mark was on cloud 9 as he opened the gallery to check out the details of the 2 new exclusive weapons. Medium Tank SD KFZ 161 Panzerkampfwagen IV. Type Exclusive Level 4. Grade NA. Crew 2 Min 5 Max. Length 5.92 meters 19 ft 5 in, without the gun. Width 2.88 meters 9 ft 5 in. Height 2.58 meters 8 ft 10 in. Weight 25,462 kg. Primary armament 75 caliber main gun. Rate of fire 20 rounds per minute max. Secondary armament 2x machine guns. Rate of fire 900 rounds per minute max. Ammunition capacity 3150 rounds machine gun, 87 rounds main gun. Cartridge type 7.92 caliber machine guns, 75x4 95 ammo main gun. Aiming angle 0 to 65 degrees. Max speed of the vehicle 42 km/h. Fuel 470 liters of diesel, gasoline, crude oil or cooking oil. Cruising range 200 km diesel, 120 km gasoline, 60 km crude oil, 18 km vegetable oil. Armor rank 5. Effective range 4,800 meters. Absolute range 7,700 meters. Auto-attack, yes. Target lock feature, no. Additional attachments, no. Description: an ungraded medium tank, which has a decent defense and high attack power. With dual machine guns and a 75 main gun, the tank can crush every enemy below the elementary stage of the 6-circle realm with ease. The tank can also defend against the damage under the intermediate stage of the 5-circle realm. Note, it must be operated by 2 crew members to use its full potential. Price 2,000 gold coins. Repair by system 200 gold coins. Create. Ding SD, KFC. 161 has been created and was sent to the inventory. 2,000 gold coins are added to the debt. Okay, with this, I wouldn't have to worry about the land wars. As for selling the tank, obviously, it won't be easy, considering it needs at least 1 million gold coins worth of transactions with the store. That much money can only be possible by dealing with empires and kingdoms. Maybe I should sell Panzer ones to the normal public while keeping this for the kingdoms. As for the Panzerhaubitze 2000, PZH 2000, its attack power rivals a 7 circle and can even shoot a target from 30 km away with 100% accuracy. So, it should be kept for only private use, although I should sell at least one to complete the quest. Maybe I can sell it to the second prince or maybe to King Shen Niu. It isn't a worry. Perhaps the only thing I should worry is about the oil. Crude oil isn't discovered in this world, or at least might not be popular yet because the people don't know what to do with it. Until I get to acquire the crude oil, I can only depend on cooking oil. With the introduction of vehicles to the army, the oil consumption will rise and probably its price too. So I should store as much oil as I can. As for LARS, it will take time for even the wealthy empires to be able to qualify. I can only use it for my defense or install them on the destroyers or the island. I wonder how much that one will cost. Light Artillery Rocket System, LARS. Type Exclusive Level 5. Grade NA. Crew 1 Min 3 Max. Length 7.8 meters, 25 ft7 in. Width 2.5 meters, 8 ft2 in. Height 2.9 meters, 9 ft6 in. Weight 15,237 kg. Main armament 36 barrels. Rate of fire 120 rounds per minute combined. Secondary armament machine gun roof mounted. Ammunition 110 rockets barrels, 7.62 machine gun. Aiming angle 0 to 55 degrees. Maximum speed 74 km/h. Operational range 500 km. Armor rank 4. Effective firing range 8 km. Absolute range 14 km. Auto-attack, yes. Target lock feature, no. Additional attachments, no. Description: an ungraded rocket artillery system, which has mobility along with strong firepower. Each 110 rocket can destroy the enemy under the Peak 5 circle realm and has a blast radius of 15 meters. 36 rockets were mounted in 2 clusters of 18. However, the user cannot fire all of them at once. There's a gap of 0.5 seconds between each launch of the rocket. Note: the armor protection is only offered to the driving chamber. The barrels installed on the back remain unprotected. Price 3,000 gold coins. Repair by system 200 gold coins, 500 gold coins. Create. Ding, LARS has been created and sent to the inventory. 3,000 gold coins are added to the debt. My debt is rising day after day. Soon, it will surely cross my net worth. Anyway, it's only a few days. Once I receive the materials, a new path will be opened soon. The night passed away with Mark having a pleasant sleep, while Song Yun lost his sleep. The next morning, Mark, Song Yue, and the 2 androids gathered downstairs. As the store is opened by Alan, Mark looked at Song Yue. "Are you ready, Manager Song?" Song Yue took a deep breath and nodded, "Yes."